Hey guys, welcome to day 13. Take two. Why take two? Because it's the second go around of Carnivore. And of course, if you don't know what happened during the first time, there'll probably usually be a link at the end of the video. I'm trying to make sure that everybody sees what happened in my story of how I failed at Carnivore for the first year and a half. But it's day 13, which is the tail end. This is the last day of 4th of July weekend. So this is day 3 of my 3-day weekend. It's Sunday, July 6th. So back to work tomorrow. I feel like work days are easier to stay focused. There's not as much temptation to cheat because with work days, it's pretty much I'm at work. I barely even get any chance to have lunch. So I usually take a couple hot dogs. And so that usually gives me something when I do get hungry, I can eat it on the go. And you know, when I get home, I don't have a lot of time, but that's usually when I can have a steak and I'm not really home to get those late night, like sitting around, I'm bored, I want to get in the fridge because then I go to my second job. So that kind of helps me. Now, some of you don't work 2 jobs and some of you are sitting around the house and you're kind of bored. In that case, again, make sure you have snack bacon on hand, or maybe even some pork rinds, you know, something that is not going to be overly bad for you. Just something to snack on. And, but yeah, so with my jobs, I can stay focused a lot easier. That's what I found anyways. And again, not all of you are going to have that, but for me, I'm just letting you know my journey. So it's the weekends that I have to be careful because when the weekends come around and it's like sometimes you hear other people. Sorry if I'm like starting to yawn a lot. Guys, it's been a long weekend and it's getting late. But you hear other people sometimes and they have these like amazing plans for the weekend, and you know, you hear about the amazing foods or restaurants or places they're going to go. And it can be tough because you project yourself and you say, man, you know, God, some of that sounds great. And it doesn't help that these people are skinny a lot of times or thinner, or, you know what I mean? They don't seem to have a problem with weight issues. Now, granted, they may end up having medical issues and things like that if you really dig into it. But that's not the point, because mentally you see your friends or coworkers or whatever, and they're maybe thin or thinner, and they're talking about going to these amazing places and drinking like beer and having, you know, these amazing everything burgers with all kinds of stuff on them, and or all this fun foods, you know, these pizza parties and all these things. And it can be challenging. It really can. So that's why you have to stay strong. And, you know, again, the when you are regularly doing carnivore, once you get going, you're going to love it. You're going to feel better, and you're literally going to feel on sort of a higher level than the junk food. And I say that because sometimes people feel like maybe, you know, I might think I'm on a higher level than other people. And that's not true. When other people are eating that junk food, I feel bad for them. And like, there's a lot of my relatives, I wish they would listen to me. You know, I know that my grandmother's still alive. She just had a hospital scare. In fact, she was just released today. She was in the hospital pretty much all 4th of July weekend. But she's back home. So for those of you that were wondering, maybe in the back of your head, but I know like carnivore would help her out. Like if she was able to go to carnivore, I know that would help her out because she has these chronic pains and like, anyways, I don't want to get into all that, but I just know what it would do for some of my family members that have some of these issues that I know could be severely reduced. some of these problems could be severely reduced if they were to go carnivore. But it is hard to convince family members when I have been doing it for a year and a half and, failed at it. I think that pretty much, like, it's hard for people once you fail at something like that. They kind of like, I don't know if I believe it. So I am extra determined this go around to look really good, to get down quite a bit of weight. And that way I can show up to my family functions and they can go, dude, you look amazing. And I'm going to say yes, because carnivore really does work. And yes, I did fail at it once, but it was my fault, not the diet. But this time I stuck with it. And this is what the diet really does for people. I would love to say that to my family, because again, they have a lot of medical issues. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I just know in my heart, I know a few of my family members are kind of doomed, unfortunately. I hate to say that. I don't want bad karma. I'm just saying, I know, like, my uncle's wife, God rest her, she's going through dialysis stuff right now. I mean, it's not looking good. And I wish her well. I really do. I wish they would have listened to me. I did try to pass the word that she needs to go on carnivore. But and with, like I said, my grandma, just some of the people in my family I know. And it's like, it's frustrating because you want them to be like, God, if you would just try it for like 90 days, right? Like the 90-day challenge, or even just do it for 60 days, or a month or whatever. I know it would help them. But anyways, and I'm sure you guys out there feel the same way about your family or people anyways, like friends and things like that. Believe me, anytime I just meet people in general that are like, oh, my arthritis is so bad nowadays and this and that, I'm just like, oh my God. And like diabetes, arthritis, like gut health, when they talk about bloating and all these, I'm like, I try to tell them, and they're just like, well, I don't, I've heard about it, this and that. It's so hard. And I try to refer them to places. But anyways, so as far as the rest of today goes, I'm trying to think overall what I ate, because on these type of days, I know I had a hot dog and a hamburger for lunch. I've been eating a lot of hot dogs and hamburgers lately, guys, because of 4th of July weekend. So I realized that. But I also had those New York strips that I've been aging in my fridge for a while. Some of you may remember from a few days back. 4 or 5 days back now. So they've been aging in the fridge. And so I had 3 aging. And so I took all 3, since I had the grill. I fired up the grill. My son came over, and my son him and I played some music instruments out in the grill. Like, I played the drums, he played the bass. We had fun. And then he stuck around, hung out with me till the evening. But I fired up the grill, and I made all 3 steaks, but the third one I kept, and so I gave him the bigger one because I wasn't like super, super hungry. But the New York strip steaks that were aged for like the last 4 or 5 days, or however long it's been, coupled with the grill. Oh, yeah. Good. Very, very good. Son loved them. He was like, man, this steak is amazing. So really, really good. Super happy. And then what else? And then I think a little later, him and I made two hot dogs each. He wanted a couple hot dogs. We were watching movies. So I went ahead and I had a couple hot dogs. So altogether, now these hot dogs. So the first one for lunch was the last of the quarter pounders. So it was a quarter pound hot dog at lunch, and then the 3rd pound hamburger. And then for dinner, it was the 14-ounce steak, New York strip. And then later after that was the 2 hot dogs. But they were the smaller hot dogs, right? The smaller ones that are like they just barely fit in the bun, or they're like in the bun, and the bun kind of swallows them a little bit. You know what I mean? They don't stick out. They're not like bun length. They're just smaller. They're not the quarter-pound ones. So I had 2 of those kind of smaller type hot dogs. I'm just trying to give you like a reference size-wise. But I had 2 of the smaller hot dogs because those were the ones, I made a pack of those for the kids, and the kids didn't really eat many of them. They just had a few. So there was like 6 or 7 left over. So, so altogether, that's what I ate today. I don't think I'm going to eat anything else. I did not have any coffee today. I think I'm probably going to skip coffee. It's getting late and I'm just tired. And I'm sort of past the dessert craving, but with eating a lot of hot dogs, you know, I feel like I'm not getting as satiated, even though I did have some hamburgers. I think yesterday I was satiated. Today, with just having the 1 burger and the steak, I feel all right. But if I do eat anything tonight, by the way, it would either be another small hot dog or some bacon. I do have snack bacon. So that's probably the only other thing I'm going to end up doing if I do have anything tonight, just to let you guys know. And of course, I'll add it into the description below. So that's about everything I can think of for today. For day, what is it? What did I say? Day 13? Did I say day 12 in the beginning? I don't remember. If I said day 12 in the beginning, I mean day 13. Because I just recorded day 12 prior to this video earlier. So, you know, everything's starting to run together, but I'm trying to keep up with daily videos every day. I'm trying to honor that commitment because I really want to have that accountability. And again, I always encourage you guys, if you want that same accountability, hey, go in the chat in my comments and tell me what you're doing each day, and that will help keep you accountable, hopefully, too, if you don't want to have a YouTube channel. So, but anyways, guys, you're awesome. My eyelid is doing a heck of a lot better. So, it's maybe just a touch red. It doesn't seem to be as like swollen today. Again, it's a little itchy, so it may have been something to do with allergies or something. Who knows? But it's definitely doing a lot better. And poop schedule today, I think I just had 1 regular small poop. So the poops have been small and mostly regular lately. Again, if you remember just the other day, it was starting to get a little runny again, but could have been excess amount of fat. I don't stress about it because it's not a big deal. I just like to report it. That way we have like sort of a record of, you know, because I also want you guys that are new to this to understand that, look, you're not going to have diarrhea forever and your poops are going to be regular still, despite what anybody tells you, like, oh, you have to have fiber and blah, blah, blah. Anyways. All right, guys, I appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Keep the comments coming. Keep the support coming. It really does help me, guys. But I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes today. All right. We will talk to you in the next video, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Happy 4th of July, everybody.